Happy Father's Day Sunday at Chase Field. D-backs baseball is presented by Sanderson Ford. And we conclude this homestand looking for another series win. A chance today to take 3 of 4 from the New York Mets. Glad you're with us for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly along the way, and a very happy Father's Day to all the D-backs dads out there. We've got a lot of them with us here today. A near capacity crowd at Chase Field. Be nice to send them home with a win on this Father's Day, Bob, and they'll look to Clay Buchholz to get it done here.
Yeah, Clay Buchholz has had a real deceiving start for the Arizona Diamondbacks. To say that he's pitched well enough to win in 4 of his 5 starts before today is an understatement. He's dominated the opposing lineup in 4 or 5 starts before today.
He's up against right-hander Zach Wheeler, a hard thrower for the Mets.
Coming off a loss against the Atlanta Braves, one of his worst starts of the year. 5 2/3, gave up 8 hits and 6 runs, walked a season-high 4. You see his numbers on the year.
D-backs looking to take 3 of 4 from the Mets in the first pitches. Coming up on Fox Sports Arizona.
D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money.
D-backs home run. Score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. Oh, so glad you're spending your Father's Day with us. Some D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. The finale against the New York Mets. D-backs have won 4 straight Father's Day games. They are 8-12 overall on Dad's Day. We got a whole lot of D-back dads with us here this afternoon. And as the Diamondbacks take the field, we are set to honor America on this Father's Day. Baseball and Dad's Day and the D-backs, they all go together. Here's the voice of Chase Field, Mr. Chuck Drago.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and please remove your hats. Please direct your attention to the field as we honor the United States of America and pay tribute to our veterans, active duty, and retired men and women of our armed services. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the New York Mets invite you to join in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by Christopher Rodriguez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Christopher Rodriguez, our national anthem on Father's Day at Chase Field. We got a capacity crowd this afternoon for this series and homestand finale. Welcome in Steve Berthiaume, Bob Renly, and Jody Jackson with you. Say cheese, the Goldie selfie on the field, and we are set to go the D-backs and the New York Mets. Mets got their first win in the series last night. Here's their starting lineup for Mickey Callaway today. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Another day, another different look for Mickey Callaway. Brandon Nimmo will lead it off today out in left field, as Drupal Cabrera will be at second base. Michael Conforto out in center field. Todd Frazier at third base. Jay Bruce first start in this series out in right field. Dominic Smith will be at first base. Kevin Plawecki doing the catching. Jose Reyes at shortstop, and right-hander Zach Wheeler on the mound.
Out there on the lunatic fringe for the D-backs, it's your Ram truck starter Clay Buchholz. 5 starts with the D-backs, 1-1 and a 3.21 ERA. He has been a tremendous addition when it was most needed.
I mentioned in the open of the show, 4 of his previous 5 starts, he has been outstanding. It was only his last time out against the Pirates, a game that got a little bit out of hand, but Clay Buchholz has been dealing with that cut fastball change-up combination.
A look around the diamond at the D-backs defense is brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
David Peralta out in left field today. Gerard Dyson in center. John Jay over in right field. Jake Lamb will be at third base. Ketel Marte at shortstop this afternoon. Daniel Descalso at second base. Paul Goldschmidt at first, with Alex Avila doing the catching for right-hander Clay Buchholz.
The crew chief has the balls and strikes this afternoon. There's Jim Reynolds, the plate umpire. Bruce Dreckman's at first base. Chad Fairchild is our second base ump today. Mike Estabrook is at third. Well, we have a moment for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, something everybody should strive to do every day. Make Dad proud on Father's Day.
Everybody wearing the Father's Day garb, hats and Jerseys and batting gloves, batting tape, socks. Everybody's got the light blue on for Dad's Day.
Just before we get started, Clay Buchholz, 2 daughters, Colby and Landry, a son, Jax, with his wife, Lindsay, trying to make them proud today.
D-backs will put the shift on for Brandon Nimmo, and we are set to go the series finale. D-backs and Mets on Father's Day from downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Brandon Nimmo batting .264 with 9 homers. 3 hits in the series. He homered here Thursday night. Good changeup from Buchholz. That's been a very effective pitch for him lately. The cutter changeup combo. Here's a look at the defense against Nimmo.
I heard you talking about Clay Buchholz on the Snake Talk show the other night, and you were right on. He has kind of reinvented himself as a different kind of a pitcher. He used to be just flame on, throw 96, 97 at a snapdragon curveball. Real power pitcher, look to strike guys out. He's a different guy now. Cuts the fastball, uses a lot of straight changeups, tries to work the corners and get early, easy contact.
Two and two. Yeah, Buchholz, once a first-round draft pick by Boston, and had a good career there. He was twice an All-Star, won a World Series with the Red Sox. Coming off a torn flexor tendon in his right forearm that cost him nearly all of last season. Healthy now and effective for the D-backs. Nimmo punches this one the other way. That's in the corner. Fair ball down the line. And Brandon Nimmo has a leadoff double.
It looked like a cutter trying to work its way back to the outside corner, just a little bit too high, and Nimmo drives it right down that left field line.
His 9th double of the year. Here is Asdrubal Cabrera trying to refine his swing. It's been a struggle for him lately. .267. He still leads the Mets in home runs and RBIs. Spiked a changeup halfway to home plate. Alex Avila. You and I were talking about this the other day when Alex was last behind the plate, and Torrey agreed with us this morning that Alex the other night when Zach Godley was out there saved the game for the D-backs.
Oh, absolutely. Saved a minimum of 2 runs, possibly more, with his work behind the plate. It's almost like the pitchers are challenging Alex Avila to block some of those pitches.
Here you go. Try and block this one.
Yeah, see if you can get this one.
1-0 on Cabrera. That's tapped to first for Goldie. Nimmo advances. They get the first out of the ball game.
Step in the right direction for Asdrubal Cabrera. Productive out. Moves Nimmo from second to third base with only 1 out in the inning. That's a start. Boy, when you're struggling offensively, anything you can do to help the team win a ball game is considered a plus.
Well, then it was a plus night for Michael Conforto last night. 218 and 9 homers. Conforto last night had a home run, a double. He knocked in 4. The Mets 5 runs. D-backs put 3 infielders on the first base side against him. There's another block by Avila. Fastball in the dirt. Patrick Corbin, last night's starter. Patrick got handed with his 3rd loss. If it weren't for the Conforto home run, Bob, in the 2nd inning, feels like it would have been a whole different ball game for Patrick.
Now Conforto kind of ambushed him. A first pitch fastball up on the inner third of the plate, and hit a line drive home run at 112 miles an hour into those bleachers in right field.
Good fastball away. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Conforto. Buchholz trying to strand Nimmo at third with 1 out. Trying to go to that changeup again. It's 2-1. Buchholz's previous start last Tuesday here against the Pirates, not as effective as in his first few starts with the D-backs. Trying to bounce back here today. Just away with a fastball. He's behind on Conforto now. 3-1. There's the numbers from Clay. 6 runs, 7 hits. He needed 87 pitches just to get through 4 innings.
It was a labor, no doubt about it.
Frazier on deck. Clay in that start had to make a lot of high stress pitches really for the first time in Arizona. It might have caught up to him just a bit. Left that changeup up. Conforto missed it. It's full 3-2. The Dad's Day Hawaiian shirts, you'll see those all over the ballpark here today. 15,000 handed out. And we have got a big crowd here today.
Scoot over.
Yeah, it's one of those days.
Jammed.
Conforto putting up a fight. Buchholz was talking about that Pirate start. He thought what gave him trouble was the Pittsburgh hitters had a really good approach against him. They didn't go out of the zone a whole lot. They fouled off a lot of pitches. He throw a good pitch. They just get barely a piece of it, and they had a lot of extended at bats against him.
Yeah, that was the case throughout that series. I mean, the Pirates offensively put some real good at bats together against the D-bats pitching staff.
Another changeup. He really wanted him to get that pitch. So they're on the corners now with 1 out for Todd Frazier.
Not the worst thing in the world if you can get a ground ball off the bat of Todd Frazier and get that inning-ending double play right here. Pitchers like to talk about inning management. Know who the batter at the plate is, who's on deck, who's in the hole, are there runners on base, what's the game score. And occasionally a walk is not the worst thing that can happen.
Nimmo's at third, Conforto at first. Frazier has doubled twice and walked twice in the series. There's that cutter, left it in a bad spot.
Yeah, got away with one right there. Of course, if you're looking for the double play ball, you want to stay down in the zone, preferably with a little bit of movement, keep that ball off the barrel, but have the opposing hitter put it on the ground. Usually a wiggle one is a 2-seam sinking fastball. Not quite sure exactly what Clay Buchholz uses for his signs out there on the mound, but generally a 1 is a 4-seamer. You see the little finger come out by itself, that's a cutter, and if you see the index finger wiggle, that's usually a 2-seam fastball. He doesn't throw a lot of those. Here's another one. That was a 2-seamer with a little bit of tailing action, but up out of the zone.
Frazier hits this in the air to center. Dyson coming in. Nimmo at third. Here he comes. Dyson's throw is cut off. Conforto is in at second, and the Mets have a 1-0 lead.
Thought we were going to have a replay of the Jose Bautista play at the plate that we saw the other day when Dyson gunned him out to Alex Avila. That time Gerard's throw tailed up the third baseline. We could clearly see it from up here in the press box. As soon as it left his hand, it started to leak up that third baseline. Maybe just didn't have a good grip on the seams when he let this one go.
Our first look in this series at the left-hand batting Jay Bruce. He's been out most of last week with lower back soreness. He'll appeal at third. Didn't leave too early. Bruce 216, 3 home runs. He's not played since Wednesday in Atlanta.
Well, the Mets in this series have had a bunch of batters reach in the first plate appearance of an inning. 28 first batters, 13 of them reached base, 8 of them scored.
Nimmo will lead off double, and he's made it 1-0. 3 defenders on the right side of the infield against Bruce. A fastball misses for Jim Reynolds back there.
Every day.
A lot of change-ups here in this first inning from Clay Buchholz. Jay Bruce, they're hoping multiple days off would give him a break on that back. That lower back soreness had started radiating into his hips, and so it was becoming a big problem. So he's been off for a while. There's a look at the D-backs defense. Buchholz behind 2-0.
Buchholz's first start as the Diamondbacks was against these Mets back at Citi Field. 5 innings, 2 hits, only 1 run in that ball game. Second time around, now the Mets not only have the video scouting and the advanced scouting report, but they've actually seen him with their own eyes. So this will be interesting for Clay Buchholz, but starting against the same team twice.
Here's a look for Moscam, our field level look. Carter missed in somewhere, and it's 3 balls and a strike on Jay Bruce. Dominic Smith is on deck. Kind of a soft cutter that time, almost more like a slider. Left it up, swing and a miss. It's full 3-2.
Sometimes a pitch is so bad it's good.
Yeah. Fastball's right there. Mets strike first. D-backs coming up. 2-5 at a dozen starts, an ERA just under 5. He hasn't won a game since the end of April.
He's had a pretty good season with the exception of a couple of really bad starts. Gave up 8 runs in 6 innings against the Rockies earlier this season. His last time out, as I mentioned in the open, the Braves banged him around for 6 runs on 8 hits in 5 2/3.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the D-backs lineup.
John Jay leading it off out in right field. Paul Goldschmidt in that 2 spot again playing first base. Jake Lamb will be at third. David Peralta out in left field. Daniel Descalso at second base. Ketel Marte at shortstop. Alex Avila doing the catching with Gerard Dyson in center and Clay Buchholz on the mound.
Wheeler's got a good hard fastball. You'll see mid to upper 90s. Jay 309, 2 homers. 97. And it's 0-2.
It's what hitters call easy gas. It doesn't look like he's working real hard, but that ball just explodes out of his hand.
97 is right there. 3 fastballs, and he dispatches John Jay. A look at the Mets defense is provided by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Outfield this afternoon will be Jay Bruce over in right field. Michael Conforto in center. Brandon Nimmo in left field. Todd Frazier will be at third base. Jose Reyes at short. As Drupal Cabrera at second base. Dominic Smith playing first with Kevin Plawecki behind the plate for the right-hander Zach Wheeler.
I liked how Plawecki just had Dad on his chest protector there. Here's Goldie. Fastball's low at 97. That's a nice touch.
Very nice.
All fastballs from Wheeler. He's not messing around. The velocity in his last few starts has been up for Wheeler. He's throwing harder than ever. That backs up Reyes at shortstop.
Jose Reyes and Ketel Marte playing shortstop for their respective teams. It could be showtime here today.
You're right.
Both guys have a lot of flair.
Or PK, as they like to say in the Dominican, which is Ketel Marte's nickname. Those are some nice kicks.
Wow. That's a look.
Here's Jake Lamb. They have boxes of that stuff in the clubhouse on these types of days. You walk in and the clubbies have them all laid out there. Sweatbands and tape and socks and wristbands and t-shirts and everything you need that's colored blue. But some guys take it to the next level. Wheeler finally threw a curveball in there. As we said, the velocity has been up on his fastball, closer to 97 these days than 95. He'll mix in his slider, changeup, and curveball off that. It's the slider that's been really effective lately for him when it's working. He's also been kind of tinkering with a new split finger pitch that you'll see very occasionally out there, but he's had some success with it.
Yeah, at this stage, that's one of those pitches. He may throw one when he's ahead in the count, nobody on base, and just see how it feels. If it feels good coming out of his hand, he executes a good pitch, you might see more of them. If he hangs one in the middle of the zone and gets whacked, he might not throw another one.
There's the breaking ball. 2-2 on Jake Lamb. New dad, David Peralta, in the on-deck circle. So he and his baby, wife Jordan, on with Kate in the pregame show. Yes, he went, says Mike Estabrook, and that's the end of the inning. Wheeler strikes out 2. D-backs trail it 1-0.
Top of the second inning, Jody Jackson here on the field. Time for our top of the order. Well, we saw last night just a 6-hit night for this Diamondbacks offense, and that was a quick first inning for Zach Wheeler for sure. But one thing collectively about the group today in the clubhouse, they were angry about that. They want to turn it around. There's a fire in there to get this offense back on track. They have a string of series wins that they want to keep intact. So look for this offense to be pretty focused today. And Alex Avila, the value of him back there at catcher, he and Clay Buchholz have worked well together. And Torey Lovullo saying, look, he won that game for us the other night, harnessing Zach Godley's wildness. Alex, we know he's struggling at the plate, but right now his value, managing this game with Clay, is the focus.
And Jody, as you know, for the emphasis, that is the emphasis for this front office and coaching staff in terms of the catching position.
Well, especially on a day when Zach Godley's on the mound. We know Zach has sprayed it around pretty good over his last number of starts. That curveball many times ends up in the dirt by design. And you need somebody back there behind the plate that can corral some of those wild ones.
Dominic Smith, the Mets first baseman, 3 hits in this series. He homered off the right field foul pole here Friday night. 4 hits and 15 at bats this year, just called up for the minors a week ago. Well, Clay's kind of spraying it around the strike zone here so far. 26 pitches, only half of them for strikes. There's the defense against Dominic Smith. There's the cutter in, and he's fallen behind on Smith. 3-1. Kevin Plawecki, the catcher, on deck. Oh, tapper into the shift. Ketel Marte cleans it up. 1 out in the second. Mickey Callaway splitting up this 4-game series between his 2 catchers. We've seen Devin Mesoraco twice and now Plawecki twice. Plawecki started Friday's game 0 for 3 with a walk. First pitch curveball.
Yeah, Plawecki, as you mentioned, started Friday night and got picked off first base. It slipped a little bit trying to get back to the bag, and Alex Avila gunned it down to Goldie for the out at first. And the Mets came out the next day and had a base running clinic out here at Chase Field. Sure, his teammates are probably looking at him out of the corner of their eye.
Descalso. Funny, because in talking with Torey this morning, we were talking about the Zach Godley start from the other night. He thought that was what sort of settled Zach down. That was a big turning point for Godley in that ball game. And when you look at the game, he settled, pretty much retired 9 straight after that.
Yeah.
Really settled in. The veteran Jose Reyes. Jim Reynolds expanding the strike zone a bit that time. It's 0-1. Reyes 158 and a homer. Only his 14th start this year for the Mets. Reyes has played everywhere, basically. Third base, shortstop, second base, coming off the bench. His 16th season in the big leagues. John Jay in right field. Nice easy 1-2-3 second for Clay Buchholz. D-backs trail the Mets 1-0. coverage of the FIFA World Cup continues tomorrow, 4 a.m. on FS1 as Sweden takes on Korea Republic. Then on Fox, it's Belgium and Panama, 7 a.m. Tunisia and England at 11. The FIFA World Cup Monday, Fox FS1. Stream it live on the Fox Sports app. And as always, we turn. I know those guys are thrilled with what happened today. There they are. There's Rodrigo and Oscar after Mexico upset Germany today.
The first opening round loss for Germany in 32 years.
Team Mexico, that was a big win over there in Russia.
Also, the Swiss team, a draw with Brazil today. That considered somewhat of an upset. So I've had to readjust my bracket once again.
Oh, come on. You can't just cross stuff out and write in who wins.
Of course you can.
The numbers on Peralta, 279.
See down here in the green, Mexico. That's my team now.
That's their team color. I like how you did that.
Yeah, of course. Color coordinated.
I didn't think you would be ready for this baseball game at all today because you were watching the Switzerland match the entire time leading up to the ball game. I thought, when is he going to do some work?
Well, you have to be able to split your attention, just like, you know, you don't take your offense out to your defense.
Peralta pokes it out to Nimmo in left field. Yeah, you were fully engrossed in the World Cup here in the morning. You watched the end of the Germany match, then right into Switzerland.
That's because we had about a dozen soccer heads in here watching the game on the big screen, and they kept oohing and awing, and I thought maybe somebody scored a goal, but they get excited over kicking the ball out of bounds and missing the goal.
It's the beautiful game. It's about the journey, not the destination.
I'm still trying to learn some of the subtleties.
Daniel Descalso. I would say scratching out your wrong prediction and writing in the winner is not exactly subtle, but effective. Daniel, 282, 8 home runs.
As you know, my son Michael works for the Boston Red Sox, and they have a travel day today back to Minnesota from Seattle, and they're all wearing soccer stuff on the plane. The various jerseys or sweaters. What do they call them in soccer? Jerseys. Okay. I think I suggested Team Germany, and I think that's what he went with. Probably too late to switch to Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah, good call. Well, already 3 strikeouts for Wheeler. Here's Ketel Marte. Everybody wearing the D-back dad Hawaiian shirt today. That's the official color for this D-back Met game on Father's Day, Chase Field.
High breaking ball for a called strike that time.
Yeah. Marte, 245, 4 homers. He has singled and walked in this series. That's a good looking shirt right there. They are all over the ballpark, and we've filled up every level in here. This is an opening day type crowd today. High in the air to left for Nimmo. And Zach Wheeler of the Mets, 6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts. He holds a 1-0 lead. Raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery from home, along with all of us at Chase Field. Your chance to win half the pot and help the kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And the winning number is revealed on the D-backs live postgame show. And this is a day you want to get in on the 50-50. It's already over $28,000 with a huge crowd here at the ballpark today. As Mets pitcher Zach Wheeler leads off the third against D-back pitcher Clay Buchholz. That'd be a nice Dad's Day gift. Home watching the D-backs on Fox Sports Arizona. Log on, play the 50-50. You're going to win a whole bunch of money.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, that jackpot, by the time we're done, that's going to be way up there. We are near capacity here this afternoon. My fastball's low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Diamondbacks faced left-hander Steven Matz last night, who hit right-handed, had padding all over his left elbow as he stood in that right-handed batter's box. And today, Zach Wheeler, a right-handed thrower, bats from the left side.
Your favorite.
Ooh.
Got to expose that pitching arm. David Peralta. That's 6 in a row, retired by Clay Buchholz.
Hey, fans, receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casinos.
Brandon Nimmo led off the game with a double. He scored on a Todd Frazier sacrifice fly. That's how the Mets got their run. Mets, even after their win here last night, just 2-12 in their last 14 games. 9 under 500 for the year. Shift is on again against Nimmo. Floats a curveball up there, 0-1. Curveball, fastball, changeup. Buchholz throwing the whole arsenal at him here. 40 pitches for Clay so far, only half of them for strikes. But still, he's given up only 1 hit. That was Nimmo's leadoff double. Changeup's a strike, 2-2. Cabrera on deck. That's a mile up in the air. John Jay near the line. And he's got it in fair territory. That one almost hit a girder in the ceiling.
That's what happens when you square one up, but your launch angle is just a little bit too high. The ball was hit right off the barrel, but all the energy was expended going straight up.
I wonder how long that's going to last, the launch angle thing. Because stuff like that happens. Here's Cabrera.
And then you've got the Giancarlo Stan's of the world that every now and then will hit a ball 400 feet with a launch angle of 9 degrees.
Right on a line.
You could hang your laundry on it.
Shift is still on against the switch hitter, batting left-handed against Buchholz. Punches that one away from the shift. Marte has no play. Cabrera's aboard. Well, Cabrera from his American League days has seen a fair amount of Clay Buchholz. 8 for 16 coming into the game today, including a couple of homers. He was in Cleveland for a long time while Buchholz was in Boston.
And as we mentioned earlier, Buchholz was a little different pitcher when he was with the Boston Red Sox as a young, hard-throwing right-hander. But sometimes it's just a familiar guy out there on the mound, familiar release point.
That ends a stretch of 7 straight retired by Clay. Conforto walked his first time up. Fastball right there at the knees, 0-1. One of 3 players in Major League history to play in a Little League World Series, a College World Series, and a Major League Baseball World Series. Conforto was a first-round pick by the Mets out of Oregon State University. He's from Redmond, Washington. His mom, Tracy, was a gold medal swimmer in the Olympics. She did the synchronized swimming. You know, where they hold themselves upside down underwater and do those fancy leg kicks and stuff. She won a gold in '84 and a silver in '88. Tracy Conforto. You probably saw a lot of kids practicing synchronized swimming growing up in Coshocton.
Yeah. We just called it dodging the snakes.
What? There were snakes in the pool?
Well, we didn't have a pool. We had to swim in the river, for crying out loud. And there were snakes in the river. It was tough to synchronize because the snake would chase somebody different every time. So.
And there's the current and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Makes it a lot harder. Surprised Coshocton didn't get the Olympics. Got natural facilities like that. That one hurt Conforto a bit.
I got him on that back leg.
Well, you remember last year when Conforto was playing against the Diamondbacks, took that big swing and a miss and blew out his shoulder?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Fouled that one off the inside of his left thigh. I don't know whether it's a change in approach by hitters or the movement on pitches that some guys throw. In my playing days, I don't recall seeing anybody foul a ball off their back leg.
1-2. What causes that? Is there any one thing?
I can't really figure it out unless guys are just so anxious to catch that ball out in front of home plate. I mean, you could see Conforto clearly caught that ball out in front of home plate and just caught enough of it to change the direction, and that back leg is very close to the inside corner when he makes his swing. I was just about to say, you look up at the big board, Conforto's hitting .218. I like this guy's swing. I think he's going to be a really, really good hitter, and he's had some great at-bats against the Diamondbacks, both at Citi Field and here at Chase Field. Tough to figure how he's hitting .218.
He's a Met,
I guess.
That's the way things are going for them. Buchholz at 50 pitches here through 2 2/3. Curveball up a little too high, and it's 2-2. Todd Frazier has knocked in the Mets' run, a sac fly in the first after Nimmo had doubled. 2-2 on Michael Conforto. Boy, that changeup really got away from Buchholz, and it's full. Buchholz, when he gets in trouble, sort of reverts back to his old Boston form. He will bring his pace and his tempo nearly to a complete stop. He'll throw to first base a lot. He'll try and disrupt the timing of the hitter. That way, things really slow down for Buchholz. There goes Cabrera from first. Fastball is fouled away.
And I'm not really sure if Buchholz does it to get himself in a better place to make that next pitch, or if he's trying to steal the momentum away from the team at the plate. Or the hitter at the plate, rather.
He says it's usually an attempt on his part to disrupt the timing of the guy up there. 10th pitch of the at-bat right here. There goes Cabrera one more time. Broken bat roller to Descalso at second base. Bottom third from Chase Field. D-backs trail the Mets 1-0.
Here at Chase Field, time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. Back to 1962, the Mets' first season in the major leagues. Their first baseman, Marv Throneberry, thought he hit a triple in the first inning, but it became an out when they appealed that he missed second base. Now there's more to the story.
Usually is.
The skipper of the Mets, Casey Stengel, came out to argue with the umpire, and the umpire short-circuited him, said, "Casey, before you start to argue, he missed first base too." Mets 40 and 120 that year in 1962.
That was their first year of existence playing at the Polo Grounds in New York. Marvelous Marv Throneberry, a Met legend. Here's Alex Avila, leads off the D-back third. Wheeler throwing hard, 97 in there, 1-1. Alex 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts in his start behind the plate Friday night against New York. There's a look at the Mets defense. Torlovello has loaded up the lineup with lefties against Zach Wheeler. Goldie is the only right-hand batter in there, other than the pitcher. Another hard fastball's a strike. It's 2-2. Wheeler has retired all 6 batters he's faced. He's got 3 strikeouts. Dice it on deck. Oh, curveball right there. Really good pitch. That's a big league curveball right there.
Yeah, it really was, especially after a series of mid to upper 90s fastballs. You can drop a bender like that on the outside corner. You're going to catch a lot of guys looking.
Another left-hand bat for the D-backs. Gerard Dyson in center.
You know, partner, I talk a lot about Roger Craig, my former manager and mentor with the San Francisco Giants. And Roger Craig was a pitcher on that 62 Mets team. Had 33 starts that year, pitched in 9 games in relief, went 10 and 24. And he used to always say, do you know how good a pitcher you have to be to lose 24 games? The manager just keeps handing you the ball.
And no one else. Reyes charges, and they get Dyson at first.
Boy, every time Dyson puts that ball on the ground, there's a chance for an infield hit, but that time Reyes gets it across the diamond just in time.
Buchholz got that elbow guard on. Protecting that right arm as he steps in from the left side. 1 for 8 on the year. Well, it's hard to believe in watching Zach Wheeler so far that he beat the Marlins and the Padres back in April and hasn't won since. He is 0-4 in his last 8 starts. And it's not all been a run support issue. His ERA in those last 8 starts is about 5.5.
Boy, and you see the stuff he's featuring here early in the ball game today, and you wonder how that can happen. I mean, this is some electric stuff here in the early going.
He was hard hit his last time out Tuesday in Atlanta. Gave up 6 runs, 8 hits, lasted less than 6 innings. He also walked 4 in that start. Behind on the pitcher, 3-1. Here comes the heat. 98 down and away. He's retired all 9 he's faced. He's got 5 strikeouts and a 1-0 lead.
Moms do. So I mean, we have it easy as the dad going to work and getting to come home for all the good times, but you know, the moms, even if they're working, but you know, if they're staying at home or getting up in the middle of the night and all that stuff, is, you know, we're pretty lucky to get to come to the park and play baseball, and just appreciative of my wife, and I'm sure that the dads out there are appreciative of their wives or the moms, you know, all over.
Oh, he just scored some big points with Amy right there.
Yeah, big time.
He knows what he's doing. D-backs trail the Mets 1-0 as we start the 4th inning. Ray Buchholz out there will face Todd Frazier, Jay Bruce, and Dominic Smith, 4, 5, and 6.
Well, there's no doubt this great game affords guys a lot of tremendous opportunities in their life, but one of the sadder things about being a ball player is on days like this and Mother's Day, it's usually Sunday travel day.
Yeah.
So your family standing in the parking lot as you climb on the bus and wave goodbye to them, while other families get to go home and have a barbecue and really celebrate dad or mom.
You give up a lot in this life. It's a great ride, but little things like that that you have to sacrifice from time to time. You've lived a lifetime making those sacrifices.
Yeah, I've waved at the family in the parking lot many times.
Shift is on against Frazier, who drove in the Met run with a sac fly in the first against Clay Buchholz. There's a curveball, and it's 0-2.
Todd Frazier might have tweaked something in that left arm on that last swing at that curveball. He was working on the back of his left arm there, his triceps, rolling the bat up and down. After seeing Miguel Cabrera this past week, just took a big swing and ruptured his biceps tendon. Frazier with a big hack right there. You can see he really extended with that left arm and immediately starts shaking it out, banging on the back of his triceps.
Hard to third. Oh, what a play, Jake Lamb. Gorgeous. Took a double away from the Todd father. Jake Lamb at third.
Well, they call it a reaction position because that ball gets on you so quickly. That was a bullet one hopper down there to Jake Lamb. A great backhanded pick. And that ball was hit so hard he had plenty of time to throw across the diamond. Nicely done.
They'll put the shift on now for Jay Bruce. His first action in this series. Struck out looking to win the first against Buchholz. Left that changeup up just a bit there. 0-1.
Drive off the bat of Todd Frazier, 102 miles an hour.
Hot corner coming at you. You know all about that. Torrey talks about that all the time. No. He said he played a lot of third base in his day for Sparky Anderson. And there was one time where Kirby Puckett was coming up, and Sparky from the dugout, move in, and Torrey was no, I don't want to move in.
I won't do it.
No, he wouldn't do it.
Oh, brother.
Can't be a comfortable feeling. He got a big right hand bat up there. Good changeup from Clay Buchholz.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com. Of course, I wasn't a regular third baseman, and I found that the harder the ball was hit, the better my chances of catching it, because you just react. You don't think about it. You know, that 2 or 3 hopper that's rolling down there and you're trying to catch it just right, and you want to make sure you land on the right foot when you field the ball so you can make that quick throw across the diamond. Too many things to think about. If you're just down there dodging bullets, there's a better chance you're going to catch it.
Do you remember the play? I think it was in the Pittsburgh series. It was a line drive hit to Goldie at first, and it was initially ruled an error, E3, and then they changed it a couple of days later to a base hit. Torrey was talking about that play, and he said, you know, when you're the infielder in that position, you have one chance to make the play. As you said, you don't think about it. The ball is coming at you like a rocket. You have one chance to make the play.
Yep.
You can't make an adjustment or come in, back up. That's it. It's on you, bang.
And it might not be pretty. You may stumble to your knees, whatever you have to do to field that ball.
So he was talking about that, the play to Goldie. Like, that's a base hit, because your chances of making the play are narrowed by how hard the ball is hit.
Of course, when you make 4 errors in 1 inning, it's hard to say that you had tougher days defensively at third base. But Eddie Milner, you remember Eddie Milner played for the Reds, little left-handed hitting center fielder, slapped the ball around, and of course you had to play in to take the bunt away on AstroTurf at Riverfront. And Eddie Milner took a full swing and hit the ball right off the end of the bat with a lot of side English. So I started moving to my left to field the ball, and with each successive bounce, it worked further and further back to my right.
Nice high hop there to Scalzo. 1, 2, 3, 4th for Clay Buchholz. D-backs trail it 1-0. D-backs and Mets on this Dad's Day. This is the finale not only of the series but the homestand. Valley Toyota dealers, let's go places. We're going all over the place. We have 2 in Anaheim starting tomorrow, travel day Wednesday, then 4 at Pittsburgh and 4 in Miami. That's a long trip.
Yeah, maybe on that flight from Los Angeles to Pittsburgh we can just have the plane drop us off in the press box, since it's about the same level that we will be.
I see where you're going there. Yes.
On the plane.
Just hang off the bottom of the plane like Jason Bourne or something. Yeah, the press box in Pittsburgh is it's up there.
That's probably about the only drawback for me. I think that's one of the most beautiful ballparks in Major League Baseball. The views from up there are unbelievable. I mean, you can see downtown Pittsburgh, downtown Philadelphia,
downtown Phoenix.
Yeah.
It is a gorgeous ballpark. John Jay leads off the 4th. D-backs offense a little quiet lately. Last 12 innings. Last night and today so far. Last 12 innings, 6 hits and 1 run. All kinds of offense previous to that. So time to get it going here.
And Torey Lovullo was very complimentary of Steven Matz in the ball game last night. I mean, sometimes the other guy is just a little bit better than you on a given night, and Steven Matz was pretty darn good last night.
Yeah, Steven Matz had a nice couple of months here for the Mets. And now Wheeler trying to turn it around. You can bury that fastball down and in like that at 99. This guy's got some big league stuff. Zach Wheeler, 28-year-old right-hander. Former first-round pick by the Giants in the 09 draft. He was the 6th overall pick in that draft at a high school in Georgia. There's that split finger pitch at 92. A hard splitter down and away to the lefty.
Just takes some of the rotation off his normal fastball, and because of that it has a little sinking action at 92.
He's punched out 6. Here's Goldie, who grounded out his first time. I was just going to say, there's the slider. We haven't seen the slider really yet from Wheeler. That's the pitch that has really come a long way for him. And when he's got it, it's an extremely effective pitch. Fights off a fastball in at 98, and Wheeler's ahead 0-2. That slider comes in hard, low 90s. It's got very late break on it. Missed at 97 away. Pretty good pitch. Borderline call. 1-2.
Watching the Mets infielders, Dominic Smith, this is as relaxed as he can be down there at first base. You watch most infielders, they're fixing divots in the dirt, or they're pounding the mid of their glove, or they're, doing something to stay ready between pitches. He just kind of stands there. I'll wait till you're ready.
That was the slider again. It looks like he's asleep down there. 3-2.
Well, it is a day game after a night game.
Yeah. That is very chill right there.
He gets in a ready position when the ball's delivered, but between pitches, he doesn't waste any energy. Hey fans, a D-backs home run today means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
That's the first D-backs base runner after Wheeler retired the first 10 batters of the ball game. He struck out Lamb to end the first. Second time through the order now for Wheeler. Starting to see more curveballs, more sliders. We've seen the splitter. That was the splitter right there. First pitch to Lamb. He likes that pitch against the lefties. Who doesn't love Jake Lamb? Curveball got the call. 1-2. Wheeler really starting to mix things up.
Yeah, he is. And he's got good stuff to mix today. That splitter is going to be a good weapon for him. We've seen him drop that curveball on the outside corner to lefties, and of course that high 90s heater.
Came in with a fastball again, and it's 2-2. Wheeler, first round draft pick by the Giants. San Francisco traded him to the Mets at the deadline in 2011 in a move to get Carlos Beltran. Wheeler won 11 games for New York in 2014, then missed 2 entire seasons after Tommy John surgery. He had some other complications. So he's really been slowed down by injuries. Lamb punches it over the glove of Frazier at third. And there's the first D-backs base hit.
Boy, Jake had to really work hard for that base hit. Wheeler was showing him some of his best stuff over the course of that at bat. It all starts with a split-fingered fastball, fouled off, then a fastball at 98 right at his kneecaps. Drops that curveball on the outside corner, another fastball in near the kneecaps, and then the next curveball almost the same place as the called strike, and Jake's ready to slap it to the opposite field.
Well, from here on in after Goldie, all left-hand batters against Wheeler. Lamb gets the base hit. Here's Peralta. David flied out his first time up. Two on and one out. 98 right down the middle, 0-1. David last night 0 for 4. That snapped a 7-game hitting streak for him. David in these situations has been perhaps the D-backs most productive hitter. He's over .330 this season with runners in scoring position. Got a high fastball, and it's 1-2. He can really rush it up there. We've seen 98, 99. Long inning, though. He's only got one out. Not only is he mixing up his pitches and velocities, he's really mixing up location.
Well, especially with that fastball. We saw it in the Jake Lamb at bat. He threw two of them right in near his kneecaps. Here to David Peralta, painting that outside corner.
Up, down, in, out. Well, he's all over. All four quadrants of the strike zone. Loaded that splitter up there. Lefties better start looking for that pitch more often here.
Well, this is the kind of day you really have to be ready to take advantage of every mistake that Wheeler makes. Hasn't made a lot of them so far in this ball game.
1-2. Peralta hammers it deep to right field. It's off the wall. Goldie's coming home. Lamb will stop at third. David's got to look behind him. Peralta wasn't looking ahead, and he somehow sneaks back into the bag at second. That was awfully close. The freight train turns it into an RBI double to tie the ball game. They stopped Lamb at third. Peralta was looking back at the baseball, and he almost had two runners on the bag at third.
Got that ball knee-high inside corner and just bangs it off that wall out near the Ram Trucks pool. Chica was waving Jake Lamb to come around the bag, but then threw up the stop sign. I think David didn't see the stop sign. He saw Tony waving his arms. Fortunately, that double cut by the Mets, both infielders going out as cutoff man, allowed David to get back into the bag safely at second.
A chance for Descalso. We're tied at 1, second and third, still just one out. A long inning for Zach Wheeler. Curveball. That was a pretty good one there, but Jim Reynolds said ball one.
Daniel Descalso this month with runners in scoring position, 6 for 12, a double, a triple, a homer. He's driven in 13 in those 12 at bats.
He's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. How about that? Leading the D-backs in RBIs this year. Ketel Marte on deck, 3-0 on Daniel Descalso. Fastball missed, and the bases are loaded for Ketel Marte. Second walk in the inning for Zach Wheeler. And here comes Dave Island, the pitching coach.
Thought it was interesting the way Daniel Descalso took that 3-0 pitch. He was ready to swing. I think he had the green light right there if it was to his liking, but Wheeler pulled that fastball off the inside part of the plate, and Daniel just heads on down to first base with a base on balls.
Well, the way he's been rolling, as you mentioned, why not give him the green light right there, right?
Certain guys earn that right. They show good judgment in those 3-0 counts. They don't chase bad pitches. They make sure it's exactly what they're looking for, and if you trust that that guy's not going to swing at a bad pitch, turning loose 3-0.
Well, boy, this would be a great moment for one of those Ketel Marte extra base hits. He's had so many this month, 11 in June. He flied out to left his first time up today. Lamb's at third, Peralta at second, and Descalso at first. And Jim Reynolds, something going on here with the Met dugout. Here comes Mickey Callaway. He might have ejected him. Jim Reynolds was walking toward the Met dugout making a mechanic. It's hard to tell exactly what it was. Let's see where Mickey Callaway goes. He's staying in the dugout.
It might have been one of the other Mets that got triggered right there. Somebody got ejected.
We'll try and figure out who has to leave in the New York dugout. So here we go. 1 out, bases loaded for Marte. Boy, put that fastball right down Main Street. Oh, and 2. Alex Avila, the on-deck hitter. We've seen this time through the order in this 4th inning, Wheeler like to go to that split against the left-hand batters down and away. He's ahead of 0-2 strikes. Went to the curveball. Well, he's really laboring in this 4th. He retired the first 10 batters he faced. And it was Jay who struck out to start this inning. Since then, walk, single, double walk. 1-2 on Ketel Marte. Hard slider. Marte gets a piece. He's got a knack for this kind of thing.
He's also got a handful of bees right now. Yeah, when you hit that ball down near the handle or out near the end of the bat, you really feel those vibrations in your hands up to your elbows. Boy, good battle here for Ketel. Yeah, win the battle.
He can find a gap right here. This place will get awfully loud. 99 misses away, and he's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. 70 pitches already for Wheeler. 43 strikes. He has walked 1, walked 2, and he struck out 6. Tap to second. Cabrera, they'll settle for 1 at first. They just do get Marte. Lambs across, and it's 2-1.
Cabrera almost waited a tick too long right there. Boy, and Ketel, you see his heel coming down on the middle of first base. You'd really like to see him hit that front edge of the bag with the tip of his toe. Get there as quickly as possible. Might have made the difference in that play.
The D-backs get the lead. Still second and third for Avila, who struck out looking to lead off the 3rd. Mets have the shift on. Avila hits it deep to center field. Conforto near the home run porch. Wheeler strands 2, but the D-backs get 2. They take a 2-1 lead. The big fourth inning for the D-backs. They take the lead. July 4th, just around the corner. Celebrate Independence Day here at Chase Field when the D-backs host the Cardinals. Fans will enjoy the best fireworks spectacular in town, presented by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. Get your tickets now, dbacks.com. Some of the Mets beat writers tweeting out that it was pitcher Jason Vargas who was not playing in the game. Ejected for arguing balls and strikes from the dugout. So that was what that was all about with Jim Reynolds.
And it could be that Jason Vargas was up in the Mets clubhouse watching the game on TV and saw a couple of those misses by Jim Reynolds and decided to come out to the dugout and let him know about it.
Just trying to help out, that's all. Plawecki, the catcher, leads off the Met fifth. Sometimes we hear groans from either dugout up where we are, but do you think bench jockeying is as active now as it was back in your day?
Not even remotely close.
Used to hear about it, huh?
Oh, man.
Not necessarily just at the umpires, but could be anybody.
Yeah, you just get on the other team as much as you could. Try to get between their ears.
Plawecki knocks one into left field, a leadoff single. Jose Reyes flying out his first time up. That was just the third hit for the Mets. Nimmo's double in the first. Cabrera singled in the third, and now Plawecki starts the fifth. Fastball's right there, 0-1. You look at Reyes, he's 35 years old now, just turned 35 about a week ago. 16 years in the big leagues. He was a pretty productive player for the Mets last year. Had over 500 at bats, hit about 250. 15 homers. He swiped 24 bags. So they brought him back on a one-year deal in January. .70 pitches for Buchholz, 44 strikes. The command for Clay today and in his previous start on this homestand, not as sharp as we've seen it before. A little more scattered. Right at Descalso, and they turn it into a double play.
It's hard to tell on first look right there if that was dropped intentionally or whether that ball just hit Daniel in the palm of the glove and it slipped out. But either way, it works out for the Diamondbacks. They turn it into a double play.
Mickey Callaway wants to talk to Chad Fairchild, who you saw right away signal safe there when the ball hit the ground. It was hit pretty hard. Mickey Callaway's out there right now, standing in front of Daniel, arguing with the umpires. Or looking for an explanation is probably a better description. I don't know, it's kind of like, you know, what are you supposed to do kind of a deal.
It's a tough one for the runner at first base. You see that ball hit. It looks like it's going to hit the ground.
And there was nothing Plawecki could do there. The pitcher Wheeler. Buchholz's spot is due up second in this half inning. If he can dispatch Wheeler here quickly, maybe he can extend this outing. Oh, and 2. Peralta. Oh, David. What a play by David Peralta in left field to win the 5th on Father's Day. The freight train, go get it. D-backs lead the Nets 2-1. Air conditioning and plumbing cool play of the game.
I'll buy into that. Nice running catch. That ball slicing away from him the entire time. David never quits on it. Makes a great diving catch to take extra bases away.
They really like David in left field a little more than right, and we've seen a number of reasons why so far this year. Great running toward that line. So the D-backs hold a 2-1 lead. Gerard Dyson will lead it off against Zach Wheeler. As we start the bottom of the 5th inning, D-backs still only 2 hits, but both coming in that 4th inning. A single by Lamb and an RBI double by Peralta. Ketel Marte an RBI ground out after the D-backs trailed it 1-0. It was a long 4th for Wheeler. He has walked 2. He's got 6 strikeouts. Dyson, Buchholz, Jay 8, 9, and 1 here in the D-back 5th. Frazier in on the grass at 3rd. D-backs beginning play today a game and a half ahead of the Dodgers for the National League West lead. Right now LA trails the Giants 4-1. They're in the 6th inning at Dodger Stadium. Colorado leads at Texas. It's 7-6 Rockies. They're in the 7th. Padres lost in Atlanta. Braves beat them today 4-1. There it is. Giants and Dodgers in LA. Later tonight it's Cubs and Cardinals in St. Louis.
Brandon Belt and Nick Hundley with home runs for the Giants in that game in LA. Belt must be fresh off the DL.
Yeah. He just that was an appendectomy, right? He was out when we just played the Giants last time. Well, Dyson's worked it full 3-2. See if he can get a board for Buchholz to bunt him over. Wheeler's really had to work hard the second time through the order. This is punched out to left field for Nimmo. Buchholz a strikeout victim his first time. Although he worked the count full in that at bat, he went to 3-2. Can you imagine throwing a no-hitter in your second ever major league start? That's what Clay Buchholz did back in 2007 in Boston. September 1st, he no-hit the Orioles.
Catchers hate pitchers at the plate.
Why?
Because they rarely square it up and hit it away from you. They usually get just enough of it to deflect it away from your mitt and take a foul tip somewhere.
Curveball missed. It's 2-2. John Jay, the leadoff man, on deck. Whoa, spinning all the way around.
Whereas Buchholz spent the majority of his career in the American League, never got to swing the bat, but he looks like he's got a pretty good idea what he's doing up there.
Good athlete. First round pick out of Angelina College. He's from Lumberton, Texas. Angelina College is in Lufkin, Texas. Well, the second time today, Buchholz has worked the count full 3-2. Got him at 98. 7 strikeouts for Wheeler.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
John Jay has struck out twice, the leadoff man. I got John Jay in Beat the Streak today. You know who's killing it in Beat the Streak, and I mean killing it? Peggy.
Really?
Peggy, who runs the media food room here, she got on Beat the Streak because she heard us talking about it. She's hooked now. And her and her husband Andy are making picks, and Peg will make her pick, and Andy will text yesterday she had Mookie Betts. Or the day before maybe. Mookie got a hit, Andy texted. Mookie got a hit, you're up to 8. So Peg, I said, Peg, what's your system? And she said, well, I looked at it and I like the name Mookie.
Very good.
So I picked him.
And
it's very scientific.
It doesn't matter. Pick guys because they look good in the uniform.
8 strikeouts for Wheeler, but the D-backs have a 2-1 lead. Souza Jr. on the DL right now, recovering from that pectoral strain. And Steven went out there in full uniform during the game and just walked the concourse, booing Met fans and high-fiving D-back fans.
Posing for some selfies out there. Nice job, Steven Souza.
All right. You don't see that every day. Just a big league ball player in his uniform, just kind of wandering around the ballpark. Getting to know some D-backs fans. How about that? Nice job. We'll start the 6th inning here at Chase Field. D-backs have a 2-1 lead over the Mets. Brandon Nimmo, who doubled and scored to lead off the ball game, starts the 6th against Clay Buchholz. Curveball is rolled to second to Scalzo. Shovel pass. Goldie has to come off the bag. And Nimmo's aboard.
That's really the only play Daniel Descalso had, that leather-to-leather flip right here. Unfortunately, it doesn't come out of the glove the way he hoped it would, and Goldie has to come off the bag to make the play.
Base hit for Nimmo. He's 2 for 3. Brings up Asdrubal Cabrera. Just hit too slowly for Daniel to try anything else. Cabrera singled his last time up. Joe's bunt. That'll bring Lamb in from third. Actually, he's standing about midway between second and third with a shift on. Nimmo will run 7 stolen bases in 9 attempts.
Third time in the ball game the Mets have had the leadoff hitter on in an inning. Nimmo reached back in the first, came around to score on a sac fly by Todd Frazier. Back in the 5th inning, Kevin Plawecki reached on a base hit, was eliminated on a double play by Jose Reyes, and now Nimmo reaches again with that infield single.
Nimmo takes off. Cabrera knocks it foul down the line. There's Dick Robertson. Wrong way Robertson. Our Golden Glover in left field today. He's flanked by Robert Bam Bam Balderrama working right. And again, we want to thank Toby for all those nicknames. He is the nickname czar. I don't know how he got around your staff. He fast tracks those things right to the top.
Toby may have a little seniority on my staff.
One and one. Boy, this is sort of almost a crutch for Clay Buchholz. Constant throwovers to first. Not all of them are called. A lot of them he does on his own.
And that's one way to slow down the pace of the game. Once again, try to steal some momentum away from that offense.
Long set that time. Missed with a changeup.
Cabrera wearing batting gloves today. We documented that last night. He started the game wearing orange gloves, which were different than the gloves he wore in the first couple games of the series, and then eventually in one of his later at bats in the ball game he had no gloves at all today, going with the blue Father's Day gloves.
And it was in the no glove at bat that he got his first hit in the series. That was in the 9th inning last night.
Yeah, so we kind of speculated that perhaps he'd go bareback today.
Couldn't resist the Father's Day colored batting gloves. Well, one thing about last night's D-backs 5-1 loss, they didn't have to use Hirano, Bradley, or Boxberger, so all three should be good to go here today. So if Clay can get through this 6th inning with a 2-1 lead, you should be all set for your big three at the back end here. Full cut on Cabrera, 3-2. Nimmo takes off, and the pitch is ball 4.
Fans here reacting. They're not quite sure what happened right there. They assumed it was a strike 3 pitch to Cabrera and a throw him out at second base, but the pitch was off the plate. Cabrera takes ball 4, and Nimmo's allowed to advance to second base.
Second walk issued by Buchholz. First 2 reach in the New York 6th inning. Conforto was walked and grounded out. Didn't get the call, and it's 1-0. Bullpen starts to get busy for the D-backs. 2 on and no out. That's yanked foul right at Bam Bam Balderrama. Salas the right-hander, Chafin the lefty. Andrew Chafin's birthday today is 28. Same birthday as Barry Manilow. How about that combo? Chafin and Manilow?
You think Chafin has ever listened to Barry Manilow?
Or heard of him?
Yeah.
Have to ask him. That's funny. 1-2. I don't think he's got a whole lot of Barry Manilow Copacabana on his iPad there.
No Mandy.
One ball and 2 strikes on Michael Conforto. Trying to backdoor that cutter in there, but missed badly, and it's 2-2. Frazier will be next. Called strike 3. Fastball right at the belt. That's a big out, number 1.
That's a big out right there. The sequence started with a fastball that looked like a strike but was called down. Then he fouls off a changeup, fouls off another fastball, a cutter right there that misses off the outside corner, and then a high 2-seamer at the top of the zone. They do get the call that time from Jim Reynolds. Our nationwide vision, eye on the game.
Frazier has knocked in the Met run with a sac fly in the first. He grounded out his last time up. He'll take a ground ball right here big time. D-backs have the shift on. 3 infielders on the third base side against the right-hand batting Frazier. And there it is. Descalso smothers it, and they get 1.
Yeah, it's going to happen from time to time. What with a traditional defense would normally have been a double play ball with the shortstop feeding the second baseman. That's the second baseman, Daniel Descalso, making a diving play on the third base side of the bag.
Well, Torrey's got his left-hander ready for Jay Bruce. Clay Buchholz will leave with a 2-1 lead, responsible for runners at second and third. Hasn't made the move just yet. Oh, here it comes. And so Buchholz's day ends right here, back from Chase Field after this.
With hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
On his 28th birthday today, the left-hander Andrew Chafin on in a big spot in a 2-1 ball game, his 35th appearance of the year. He's got Nimmo at third, Cabrera at second, 2 outs, and the batter is Jay Bruce. Slider is low. Bruce has struck out twice, both times against Clay Buchholz. His first appearance in this series after back trouble kept him out for much of last week. Missed with a fastball in. 2 balls and no strikes. Bruce, even before the back problem flared up, had been slumping this month. Right now he is 4 for 32 in June. Fastball is low. Dominic Smith, another left-hand batter on deck. There's your 3-0 fastball. .94 down and in. It's full 3-2. Sellout crowd here, more than 47,000 with us at Chase Field on Father's Day. Shift is on against Bruce. 2 on, 2 out, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Called strike 3. The Sheriff Andrew Chafin on his 28th birthday. There's your present. 2-1 D-backs. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of baseball. MLB.tv. He can watch baseball live or on demand on his favorite supported device. And you get 50% off on Father's Day. Visit MLB.tv for details. Oldie has grounded out, walked and scored a run. 0 for 1. Zach Wheeler still out there for the Mets to start the 6th. Base hit. He dunks it into right field, the leadoff single. That's just the D-backs' 3rd hit against Wheeler.
Now Wheeler up to 90 pitches now with all these left-handed hitters in the Diamondbacks lineup. Mickey Callaway gets his left-hander Jerry Blevins warming in the bullpen as we got started here in the bottom of the 6th.
I saw Blevins work earlier in this series, both on Thursday and Friday. Wheeler at 90 pitches, 56 strikes. Jake Lamb has struck out, singled and scored. Quick throw over to first. Goldie is back in time. Boy, Wheeler was absolutely cruising the first time through the order. He retired the first 10 batters he faced today, had 6 strikeouts. He's up to 90 pitches now. In the first 3 innings, he threw only 36 pitches. He threw 36 in the 4th inning alone. And then bounced back with a 1-2-3 16 pitch 5th. So that 4th inning was a big bump in the road. That's when the D-backs got their 2 runs.
I mean, how about Clay Buchholz again today? For the 4th time in 6 starts, he gives up 1 run.
And you know, he wasn't super sharp today.
He had to labor. He had to work really hard today.
Which makes it even more impressive. Fights off a fastball, and Jake is down 0-2.
Well, he's given up only 1 run in 4 starts. He gave up 2 runs in his start against the Giants up in San Francisco. Really was only his last time out against the Pirates, where he got banged around a little bit.
Yoshi Hirano, 6, 7, and 8 due up in the Mets 7th, so Yoshi starts to get loose. 97 and upstairs. Based on the way that Shelby Miller pitched yesterday for Visalia, just outstanding. 6 2/3 scoreless with 10 strikeouts. Shelby may or may not be getting close. We'll see if he wants to make another minor league rehab start or not. But somewhere down the road in the next couple of weeks, they're going to have to make some decisions on this rotation. Right to Reyes at shortstop. He'll take it himself and turns the double play. Robbie Ray, speaking of that, will have another minor league rehab start Tuesday at Reno. There's Robbie. He'll try and get up to about 65, 70 pitches. Randall Delgado makes another outing for Reno tomorrow. They're giving Randall a full spring training to make sure he gets his arm and shoulder back in shape, but he has pitched very well so far. David Peralta, bases empty, 2 down.
Now, no doubt the numbers were great for Shelby Miller last night, but even after bad outings, when you're out on a rehab assignment, the most important thing is when you wake up the next day and take inventory. How does everything feel?
This one is slicing toward foul ground.
I mean, you have to believe psychologically Shelby feels great, but hopefully physically he feels just as good.
Well, so far it has been just outstanding for Shelby, coming off Tommy John surgery last May. So hopefully back soon. We'll see. Important thing is not to rush him or Robbie or Randall. They're giving Randall, like we said, a full spring training because he was down for so long. They're taking their time with him. Peralta sends it toward right center. Nitto or Conforto is there to run it down. And that's the end of the 6th inning. D-backs have a 2-1 lead. crowd for the D-backs in the Mets. Hey fans, don't forget, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. 7th inning, and here is Yoshihisa Hirano, who has been outstanding lately. Look at that, a 1.50 ERA. He has held opponents scoreless in 18 straight games.
Not the situation here today, but Yoshi has not allowed an inherited runner to score all season.
15 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings pitched by Yoshi Hirano. He'll face Dominic Smith, Kevin Plawecki, and Jose Reyes. 6, 7, and 8 due up in the Mets 7th. Just played a round of Name That Tune in between innings with a couple of dads who didn't go well.
Apparently don't have radios in their car.
Or anywhere. They played Uptown Funk and they cut the music off, and Mike looked at these two dads and it was crickets. They had nothing.
Played Van Halen's Jump. How can you not get that? They play that at every ballpark in the country.
80s music should be a required collegiate course everywhere, I believe. What have I done to deserve this? 0-1 on Smith. I'm more, you're the classic rock guy. I'm more of this, like the 80s.
Hair bands.
Yeah.
80s.
That's your thing. No, the hair bands is 70s, right? With the rockers. Hair bands is 80s, I'm told, by the millennials in the truck. What do you guys know? I didn't like the screamers. More other stuff.
Death metal. You don't like death metal?
Hard to believe, but no. You will keep a running tab of everyone's walk-up music just to make sure that everybody's in line. You have a few of your favorites. What's the Matt Cook's one? What is he?
Matt Cook, Lazaretto by Jack White.
Jack White.
And Alex Avila also plays a White Stripe song when he comes to the plate.
2-2 on the Met first baseman. Shattered the bat. Marte calls off Descalso and cleans it up. Boy, look at the sharp end of that bat. That is really dangerous.
Boy, fortunately, it's been a long time since anybody's been injured by a flying barrel like that. I was working with the Cubs when Tyler Colvin was coming down the third baseline at Old Marlins Park in Miami, and the shard of the bat punctured his lung, went through his uniform, went through his rib cage, and punctured a lung. And fortunately, he was okay, missed a little bit of time, but boy, you can imagine how serious it could have possibly been.
Kevin Plawecki swings over the top at a Yoshi splitter at 0-1. He singled his last time up. Mets have just 4 hits. D-backs have 3. Foul in front of Glenn Sherlock at third. Well, this is a good thing for the NHK folks. Of course, Ohtani over there in Anaheim is injured right now, so there's a lot of Japanese media and TV here bringing D-backs baseball over to Japan in case Yoshi got into the ball game. So this is a nice circumstance for him. Got all these Japanese TV crews out here and nothing to do. So, hey, we'll go over to Arizona.
Why not? Yoshi's over there in the desert dealing. Let's go check him out.
Longtime closer in Japan. Yeah, between Fox Sports Arizona, SNY doing Mets TV, the NHK folks, you got enough TV trucks back there. It's like the World Series. Cables everywhere.
It's quite the obstacle course trying to get through there to the parking lot after the ball game, but so far we've made it the first 3 games of this series.
A fastball, swing and a miss. He struck out Plawecki, and here comes Reyes. Well, this is set up very well for Torey Lovullo. Naturally, you'd prefer a bigger lead than 2-1, but he's got his back end 3 in the bullpen, pretty much fully rested. Yoshi facing the bottom of the Met order. Archie should be ready for the 8th, and Boxberger for the 9th. Hopefully, he can get some more runs between now and then. Reyes 0 for 2. Met bullpen. Starting to get going again. Hansel Robles, the right-hander. Pitcher spot is up next. Wilmer Flores is out in the on-deck circle for the Mets. Yoshi kind of working around the edges of the strike zone. He's fallen behind 3-0. There's Flores, who got the start at first base last night. Singled and scored a run. Zach Wheeler, can see why he was a first-round pick years ago. He's got some tremendous stuff.
Well, he really does.
Full count, 3-2. This place starting to get loud. Nearly 48,000. A sellout on Father's Day. The 3-2 to Reyes. Splitter was low. He laid off, and Flores will get a chance. Wilmer Flores, a .254 hitter. He's got 3 homers this year. A pair of hits and an RBI in the series. Activated from the DL before Friday's game. He'd been out with a back problem.
Now, normally you might anticipate a stolen base by Jose Reyes, or at least a stolen base attempt with the Mets trailing by a run in the ball game, but managers hate to burn pinch hitters. I'm sure Mickey Callaway wants Reyes to just hold his ground and give Wilmer Flores an opportunity to pick a pitch to swing at here.
Yoshi really lost the handle on that splitter. He's behind 2-0 after falling behind on Reyes. $18 pitches so far, only 8 of them strikes. Reyes takes off. Avila's throw is high, and Reyes is in there. He's the tying run.
Well, I guess he was sure he could steal that bag. Yeah, he got a big jump that time. Was leaning as Hirano started his delivery. quick crossover step and then use that speed to accelerate into that head first slide. Third stolen base of the season for Jose Reyes.
Pitch was a strike. It's 2-1 on Wilmer Flores. Tying run at second, 2 outs. The excuse me check swing foul. 2-2. Nimmo would be next. He's got 2 hits and he scored the Met run today. Splitters in the dirt, and it's full 3-2. He had a 3-2 count against Reyes, threw him that split low. Reyes laid off and took the walk. So we'll see what he's got in store for Flores here with a full count. Fastball in. Back-to-back 2-out walks for Hirano. That'll get Mike Butcher out of the dugout. And Brandon Nimmo will be the hitter.
Well, we know Yoshi can alter his delivery times to home plate. I've had him 175 to 185 once Reyes stole the bag out there at second. Might be an alert here for Mike Butcher to maybe speed it back up again. Now with 2 runners on base, a double steal would put the potential go-ahead run in scoring position.
Torey Lovello on the phone. Mike Fetter's in the bullpen. Dodgers are hosting the Giants. San Francisco has a 4-1 lead in LA. They're in the 8th inning. A wild one in Texas where the Rockies lead the Rangers 10-9 in the 8th. Bullpen stirring down there. No one throwing as of right now, but it looks like Jorge De La Rosa will start to get loose. 2 on and 2 out. Brandon Nimmo has doubled, singled, and scored a run. He's 2 for 3. D-backs have 3 infielders on the right side. Lamb all by himself near the bag at third. Lays off a splitter. It's 1-0. How big a difference do you think it is for Yoshi with that split when he's ahead in the count versus when he's behind?
Well, I think he's got good enough command of that pitch most of the time that he can throw it for a strike when he wants to. He can bounce it in the dirt when he wants to. But of course, anytime you're ahead in the count, the hitter's going to be a little more aggressive, a little more defensive, trying to protect that plate. There's a good pitch again.
Man. Reynolds didn't give it to him. 2-0.
Every day.
Reyes is the tying run at second. Flores the go-ahead run at first. Fastball's a strike, 2-1. Well, Nimmo got his fastball right there, and he missed it. It's 2-2. Yoshi's a strike away from getting out of this mess. Got him! Yoshihisa Hirano strands 2. We stretch on Dad's Day. It's still 2-1 D-backs.
Seventh inning, the Mets had runners at second and third. Andrew Chafin punches out Jay Bruce looking, and then here in the seventh inning with runners at first and second, Hirano punches out Nimmo on a called third strike. Our Nationwide Vision eye on the game.
An exciting game here at Chase Field on Father's Day. Hansel Robles, the right-hander, is on to work the bottom of the seventh inning against the D-backs. The numbers on Robles, his 15th appearance of the year. Tell you what, we've got more than 47,000 with us today. This is a sellout, and we've had some very special food items on the menu. Father's Day only, BB. The D-backs really stepped up big time. Of course, you and I had the apple pie chimichanga the other day. You've got sausage and pepper nachos, bacon beer cheeseburger, and the lemon shandy. All of these available today only at the ballpark. So we had a big crowd here to take advantage. And in checking the social media, that apple pie chimichanga is blowing up.
That's a hit. We had them up here in the booth the other day. Couldn't eat them fast enough. Boy, those are tasty.
The apple pie chimichanga, a Father's Day dessert special for today only, and it has been a tremendous hit. So our thanks to all the dads who showed up today, fathers and sons at the ball game. And hopefully we'll get to see a D-backs win and another series victory here, trying to take 3 of 4 from the Mets. Descalso starts us off. He has struck out and walked.
A couple more runs wouldn't hurt anything right here, even though this sets up well for Torey Lovullo's bullpen. As you mentioned, Hirano in the 7th, Archie in the 8th, Boxberger in the 9th. I'm sure he wouldn't mind letting those guys take the rest of the day off if the D-backs offense could explode right here.
Yeah. And a long road trip ahead of us. The Angels, the Pirates, and the Marlins. We're gone for about 2 weeks. Some big pitches by Yoshi right there. We saw Robles in the series opener back on Thursday. Pitched a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. And a walk to Marte. A couple of outs after that. Pretty effective. This is blasted to the right field corner and foul. Archie Bradley. Mets in the 8th inning will have 2, 3, and 4 due up. Cabrera, Conforto, and Frazier. You want to win a division, these are the kind of games you got to win, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
2-1 ball game. Mets have just 4 hits, only 3 so far for the D-backs. Seen some clutch pitching. We've seen some tremendous defense by both sides. Marte's RBI ground out in the 4th right now is the difference in the ball game. Well, Descalso's got a 6-game hit streak on the line. 4 hits and 3 RBIs in the series. He leads the Diamondbacks in RBIs this year. Hard slider. Robles wanted that one. Descalso stays alive.
I was listening to Mike Farron, the Moral Compass, on Snake Talk the other day, talking about Daniel Descalso and his possibility of making the All-Star team. And I thought he brought up a great point. In the American League, you can vote for a designated hitter, but there is no category in the National League for a super utility player like Daniel Descalso.
Well, managers have to submit candidates from their own teams, and I guess others. There's a whole form they fill out, and Torrey made sure to include Descalso on his list. He has earned a spot. National League players may be at a bit of a disadvantage in that regard. Guess what? Descalso's on base again. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. We hit the road after this ball game. A long trip. 2 at the Angels. Travel day Wednesday. 4 in Pittsburgh. 4 in Miami. So it starts with the former Angel. Briefly, Zach Greinke tomorrow in Anaheim. Matt Cook gets the start on Tuesday. And as you said, back-to-back 4-game series on the road. Very unusual.
Very unusual, especially that one against the Pirates after all that took place here at Chase Field when the Pirates were in town earlier on this homestand. Hopefully no unnecessary fireworks.
Fingers crossed. Dave McKay coaching at first.
You know, another thing about a 4-game series is you get every umpire in the crew behind the plate at one point or another. Right. So you got to be very careful and pick your arguments. You don't want to argue with the first base ump the first game of the series knowing he's going to umpire home plate the next day.
They wouldn't carry a grudge, would they?
Oh, no. But once they get to third base, all bets are off. Just let them have it.
That's Jim Reynolds, the crew chief, back there today. 1-1 on Ketel Marte. That one's trying to get down, and he dunks it into left center. A walk and a single open up the D-backs 7th. Here's Alex Avila. He has struck out and flied out.
Alex belted one just to the left to straightaway center back in that 4th inning. Long fly ball to Conforto in center.
Jumped on the first pitch. Descalso at second, Marte at first. Nobody out. Each team now with 4 hits. Up the middle, roller. Reyes takes it himself and turns the double play. Second time in 2 innings that Reyes has done that. Descalso at third, now 2 down. Gerard Dyson. Robles 99 down near the shoes. Pitcher spot is behind Dyson. Chris Owings is out in the on deck circle for the D-backs. High in the air along the line in right for Jay Bruce. D-backs at first and second, no outs, cannot get an insurance run across, so it stays 2-1. Bradley on to start the 8th. Hey, if you're still looking for a Father's Day gift, you can bring it in after the day, right? Go big, get them a D-back suite. If you book it today, now this is today, you take advantage of our 20th anniversary suite sale, and you can reserve a seat for only $19.98. But the offer is limited. Call 602-462-4119 or log on to dbacks.com/suites. Our Dad's Day D-back suite sale. Celebrating 20 years.
That's a great deal. I mean, up to 24 people. You can bring an entire team out here, bring your employees out here to reward them, bring a family reunion out to the ballpark.
Here is Archie Bradley as Drupal Cabrera leads off the mid-8th. Shift is on. There's a fastball 0-1. Cabrera, who's done almost nothing up until today in the series, has singled and walked. Now we've seen Archie the last couple of outings occasionally hang that curveball just a bit, so you got to obviously be careful here with a 1-run lead. Sixteen of his last 17 appearances here at Chase Field have been scoreless. That was the curveball there. Goldie's got it. Archie's over there. 1 away.
Yeah, you mentioned Archie's curveball hasn't been as effective this year as we've seen it in the past. Last season, opponents hit only 170 against the Archie Bradley curveball. This year, the average is 273. Last year, they would swing and miss at his curveball 28% of the time. This year, only 16% of the time. Now, the other side of that coin is Archie's got a real good fastball. So until he can find that curve, he can still put people away.
Conforto tries a first pitch curveball and throws it for a strike. He has walked, grounded out, struck out, 0 for 2. Yeah, it was the curveball that Archie hung to Ahmed Rosario back on Thursday in the series opener that Rosario hit for a home run out to left field. Familia just off the DL today, the closer. Boy, Conforto in his first 2 at bats today against Clay Buchholz saw 17 pitches, a walk and a ground out. He took it full both times, 3 and 2. He's been battling D-backs pitchers all day. And back to the curveball, kept it down, but Conforto stays alive.
Hard curveball that time, gets a piece of Alex Avila's throwing arm that time. Hit the ground, came up and bit him in the forearm.
Here comes the heat. Blasts it to center. Dyson's there. That was a pretty good at bat right there.
Yeah, real good at bat, real good contact too. A slicing line drive toward that gap in left center. I'm sure Conforto thought that was going to be down for extra bases, but he forgot who was playing center field.
Mr. Zumbaya, Todd Frazier. He has knocked in the only Met run, a sacrifice fly in the first after Nimmo doubled to lead off the ball game against Clay Buchholz. Frazier 0 for 2. 3 infielders on the third base side against him. D-backs in the bottom of the 8th will have the pitcher spot due up. Then Jay and Goldie 9, 1 and 2. Fastballs a strike, 1-1. That's a real good curveball right there. That pitch is looking better today. A ball and 2 strikes on Todd Frazier. Dunks it over the head of Descalso and into left center field. 2-out single. And the batter is Jay Bruce.
Sounded like it got in on his hands a little bit that time. Archie Bradley with a upper 90s fastball inside, jamming Todd Frazier, but he's a big strong man, just muscles it out there into shallow left center for a 2-out knock.
Bruce 0 for 3. He's punched out all 3 times. Fastball's a strike. Descalso is well back on the outfield grass at second. The shortstop Marte on the first base side of the bag. You see where Lamb is midway between second and third. John Jay backed up deep in right field. Ball's off the corner, a miss, 1-1. Fastball. Bruce didn't chase. He's ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Archie trying to get out of the 8th. Ooh, he wanted it. Showed up as a strike, but it's ball 3. Swung at ball 4 that time. Full count, 3-2. Smith would be next. There goes Frazier from first. Bounce to the shift. Marte. They brought in the beard. It stays 2-1.
And I think we're going to be talking about a well-played, well-pitched game, right?
A good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. This day and age, it's much more rare. More rare?
Rare.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's rare.
We'll break it down, and the crisp defense, too, behind this team.
That always helps. That adds to a pitcher's duel.
A complete package if they close it out. So, Steve, it's up to you. We'll send it back to the booth for the call.
That's a lot of pressure, Todd. Thanks a lot. Here's the Mets closer just activated from the DL today. Jeurys Familia. He's been out with a sore right shoulder. Trying to keep this a 2-1 ball game. Pitcher spot leads it off here in the Diamondback 8th inning. Nick Ahmed will hit for Archie Bradley. After that, John Jay and Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, we talked about the Diamondbacks with the back-to-back 4-game series against the Pirates and the Marlins coming up this week. The Mets have back-to-back 4-gamers themselves. 4 here at Chase Field. They go to Colorado to play 4 against the Rockies.
Rockies right now are in Texas, where they lead the Rangers 12-9 in the 9th inning. The Dodgers at home are losing to the Giants. San Francisco has a 4-1 lead in the 9th. Padres lost in Atlanta 4-1. Braves beat them on the ground to shortstop. Reyes gets over there. 1 away. Well, John Jay's done nothing but get multiple hits and get on base, it seems, ever since we've seen him. But today 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Brad Boxberger starts to get it loose in our bullpen. Dominic Smith, Kevin Plawecki, Jose Reyes will bat in the 9th for the Mets. 6, 7, and 8. Pitcher spot after that. That's a fair ball down the left field line. John Jay's at it again. It's a 1-out double.
Tailing fastball, outer third of the plate. That's what you're supposed to do. Stay right on it. Keep your head down the barrel of the bat and shoot that ball to the opposite field. Nicely done by John Jay.
A chance for a tack-on run. He's at second with 1 out for Goldie, who has walked, singled, and scored a run. 1 for 2. Boy, I always thought John Jay was a pretty good player. You know, we've seen him in a bunch of different places. Cardinals, Padres, Cubs. I think a whole lot more of him now after watching him the last week or so. He has been a tremendous addition.
Very similar to Daniel Descalso in the quality of at bat you get. He doesn't chase a lot of bad pitches. If he throw a pitch in the strike zone, he's liable to barrel it up somewhere. He'll take his walks. He'll work deep counts.
Just a really quality big league ball player.
Boy, and to have 2 guys like that in your lineup that are going to grind out those 6, 7, 8, 9 pitch at bats almost every time up at the plate, that really taxes an opposing pitching staff.
Goldie quickly behind in the count, 0-2. He's got Jake Lamb on deck behind him. There's a tapper that Frazier has to charge in bare hand. They get Goldie at first, Jay's at third.
I don't know about that one.
Bruce Dreckman down there at first base. Torey Lovullo saying, hold on, let's check.
Swinging bunt down that third baseline. Goldie, as usual, busting it down the first baseline. He's all kinds of safe.
That was not close, and they will challenge.
That's the thing about Goldie, and we've talked about it at length over the years. He runs everything out hard, whether he hits it hard or not. He knows how tough it is to play defense in the big leagues. Get down that base and look at the toe on the front edge of the bag.
That's your thing.
Oh, I love it.
I was just going to point that out. How do you do that on purpose every time?
Well, when you do this for a living and you've run down that first baseline as many times as Goldie has, you know exactly how many steps it's going to take you to hit the front of the bag with your toe.
And that may have made the difference right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this shouldn't take long.
Safe at first. Here's Goldie full speed.
Like his hair's on fire right there. A lot of middle of the lineup run producing guys, if they hit a little topper down the third baseline, they're just going to jog down to first. Well, I didn't drive it into the gap or out of the park, so I'm not going to run hard. Not Goldie.
They're on the corners with 1 out for Jake Lamb. Jake singled and scored in the 4th. Couple of fastballs, and it's 1-1. Brad Boxberger ready in the bullpen. Another hard fastball. Couldn't check his swing. He's down a ball and 2 strikes. Fights this one off the other way, and it drops in for a base hit. Jay will score. 3-1 D-backs. Jake Lamb squirts one into short left.
Not the prettiest at bat we've ever seen. Jake swung at a pitch way low, tried to check his swing on a pitch way in, and then gets jammed badly on the 3rd delivery, but muscles it out there into shallow left field for an RBI knock.
3 straight 1-out hits have added a run. Here comes David Peralta, who had an RBI double in that 2-run D-back 4th. That's that hard slider from Familia. 1-0. David's RBI in the 4th inning is 15th in June.
No. Yeah, that may have nipped the strike zone, but I say it all the time. Rarely will you see an umpire call a high breaking ball up there at the top of the zone.
I saw Jim Reynolds talking to David Peralta about that. A ball and a strike on the freight train. 2 on, 1 out. A run is in. Wild swing and a fastball. In the air to right for Bruce. Here comes Descalso. Well, how many times in moments such as this have you seen Descalso come up and knock one into the pool, hit one off the wall, punch one down the line? Time and time again, he's got 2 on and 2 out. He has struck out and walked twice. Daniel 4 hits, 3 RBIs in the series. He homered here Friday. The player that Torey Lovullo compares Descalso to, especially in these types of situations, is David Ortiz. Now, they're not necessarily similar type hitters, but they have the same approach, Torey says, to these moments. Very relaxed in these big spots.
Slow things down.
Yeah. He says when he watches Descalso in a situation like this late in the ball game, the player that comes to mind is Big Papi. Chop foul at first. Well, the Rockies bullpen is imploding again at Texas. Colorado had a lead. The Rangers are batting right now in the bottom of the ninth inning, and it's a 12-11 ball game. Add a run to that score, and the Rangers with one out have the bases loaded, down one. Wade Davis, the closer they paid about $50 million for, has walked in 2 runs. Dodgers are at home in the bottom of the ninth, trailing the Giants 4-1. 2-1 on Descalso. That fastball missed. 3 balls and a strike. Ketel Marte on deck.
You know, we marveled at Daniel Descalso and his clutch at bats this year, and a lot of them are just like this because he is so patient at the plate. He gets himself into good hitters counts, and when you get into a count where a pitcher is almost forced to throw you a strike, you're probably going to have a much higher batting average.
The bases are loaded. The 3rd walk drawn by Descalso today. And here comes Marte. Dave Island to the mound. Remember, this is Familia's first game back coming off the DL. So he might be a little rusty. He had a sore right shoulder for much of this month.
And I'm sure a high-stress 20-plus pitch inning is not what the Mets had in mind for Familia. They were hoping for a soft landing, but this is not that.
Ketel Marte for a long time today as the Met bullpen gets busy again. Sewald, the right-hander. Marte had an RBI ground out in that 2-run 4th that for much of the afternoon was the difference in the ball game. D-backs have added a pad run here on the Jake Lamb RBI single and trying to pad it a little more for Brad Boxberger in the 9th. Rockies just blew it. Rangers winning a walk-off. That Colorado bullpen is an absolute dumpster fire right now. 13-12. It's a final as the Rangers walk it off in Texas. Oh my goodness, $100 million bullpen, and they can't get anybody out or hold a lead. Everybody's been there. Broken bat up the middle. Reyes behind the bag. And they get Marte at first, but the D-backs do get one. So here comes Brad Boxberger for the 9th inning with a 3-1 lead. 7,000 in with us, and the D-backs trying to send them home happy, leading 3-1. Hey fans, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Phoenix offers summer day camp programs at all 13 locations to give youth and teens an adventurous, active, and healthy summer. These programs operate 5 days a week to enrich kids with academic success, healthy choices, and a whole lot of fun. For more info, contact the nearest club or visit www.bgcmp.org. Brad Boxberger on to close it out. D-backs looking to take 3 of 4 from the Mets before it's on to Anaheim tomorrow night. Boxberger 16 for 18 in his save opportunities this year. Right now riding a 10-game scoreless streak at Chase Field. Ketel Marte slides over to second base, replacing Daniel Descalso. Ahmed, who hit for the pitcher, stays in the game. He's at shortstop. Dominic Smith 0 for 3, leads off the Met ninth. Dodgers have just lost in Los Angeles. Giants beat them 4-1. So the Dodgers have lost. The Rockies have lost. San Fran 4-1 winners. Padres lost in Atlanta. That's drifting down the line, foul and out of play. It's 0-2.
I believe you mentioned earlier the Cubs Cardinals are the late game today. The Brewers lost, so right now they're in a flat-footed tie with the Cubs for first place in that Central Division.
And NL Central, that could be like that the whole year. Alex Avila and Jim Reynolds having some fun back there. Why do guys always smell their bats like that?
When you foul a ball off, I don't know whether it's the wood or the horsehide on the baseball, but there's a very distinctive smell. Yeah, you can smell it when you're behind the plate or umpiring or up there hitting. You see a lot of batters after a foul ball will put their nose up to the barrel of the bat.
Swings through a high fastball.
Don't want to smell that one.
Nope.
High cheese in the low 90s. Dominic Smith very tardy that time.
Here's Plawecki, the catcher. He singled in the 5th against Clay Buchholz, 1 for 3. Tell you what, Bob, lost in the story of this season so far has been the very quiet and dependable success of Brad Boxberger. Everybody's talked about Goldie and some of the injuries and some of the other things, but you know, all through it from the first day right up until now, Boxberger's very quietly just saving game after game.
Yeah, just locking down the games he's supposed to. Hasn't done it in a flashy way. Nobody's had to chew their fingers down to the nub watching the 9th inning.
Yeah. What are you saying? I mean, you couldn't have a bigger contrast between Boxberger and Fernando Rodney. Each guy very successful in their own regard, but it's certainly a contrast in styles. And what's funny is they both do it with essentially 2 pitches, fastball, changeup. Rodney and Boxberger. Reyes on deck. Fastball's low, full count, 3-2. Right there. Well, it's amazing that a guy with 2 pitches and a fastball that pretty much tops out at 92 can keep you off balance like that.
Off balance to the point where you take a 92-mile-an-hour straight fastball right down the middle of the plate on a 3-2 pitch.
47,000 plus on Father's Day. 1 out away. As the D-backs look for win number 40 on the year. Reyes trying to bunt his way on. That's fair. Avila has no play. Didn't want to throw it up the line. So Reyes keeps hope alive for New York.
I think Alex probably would have been better served that time to let the ball go and hope it spins into foul territory. Reyes still runs extremely well out of that left-handed batter's box. There might have been enough side English on that ball to spin it all the way into foul territory, but once Alex touched it in fair territory, he had no play at first.
Well, now Reyes has helped the Mets get the tying run to the plate. 2 outs in the 9th, and Jose Bautista will hit for the pitcher. 177. He's homered twice. Reyes takes off. No contest. Bautista is 0 for 8 in the series. He has struck out 5 times. Started the year in Atlanta. He's played 22 games with the Mets and hit .205 with New York. These are 2 guys that have seen a fair amount of each other, both coming after long stays in the American League East. Bautista with Toronto, Boxberger with Tampa Bay. Corkscrewed on that fastball swing, and we're a strike away.
Fastball running up and in. Looked like a good pitch to swing at by the time Bautista gets the bat through the hitting zone. It's up and in.
Nimmo would be next. Fly ball, pretty deep right field. John Jay can't get it. Reyes will score. Bautista is at second base. And suddenly it's a 1-run ball game. That thing slicing away toward the corner. And John Jay couldn't quite get there.
That crossed up the defense a little bit there. Jose Bautista throughout his career has been pretty much a dead pull hitter, but he slices this one down into the right field corner. John Jay with a long way to go can only get the tip of the glove on that ball as it drops for an RBI double.
So here's Brandon Nimmo with a tying run in scoring position and 2 outs. Nimmo 2 for 4. He's singled, doubled, and scored a run. First pitch changeup. Rockies have lost. Dodgers have lost. That's belted deep to right field and way out of here. Brandon Nimmo homered in his first at bat of the series Thursday night. And now here on Sunday afternoon, he makes it 4-3 New York.
No doubter off the bat of Brandon Nimmo. Got a change up down and in right in that happy zone for most left-handed hitters, and he did not miss it.
Whoa. A bunt single, an RBI double, and a two-run homer, all with 2 outs against Brad Boxberger, and the D-backs are down 1. Here's his Drupal Cabrera. Shift is on the first base side. 1-1. Reyes, little bunt single with 2 outs. Bautista had that slicing double into the right field corner, and Nimmo hit it way out. Cabrera gets into one. This is deep right center field. They go back to back. 5-3 Mets.
A couple of left-handed hitters sitting on that changeup, and both times it ended up in a bad location, down and into a left-handed hitter. That one's actually out over the plate a little bit, but Cabrera reaches out there and hooks it back toward that Ram Trucks pool area, just sneaks it over the fence.
You see the expressions on the faces of the D-backs fans here. As you and I mentioned, it's been pretty much smooth sailing for Brad Boxberger. This is something new.
He'd only given up 3 home runs all season before today.
4 consecutive 2-out hits have made it 5-3 New York. 1-1 on Conforto.
I got 2 quick outs, a couple of punch outs on 10 pitches to start this inning. Everything looked to be well in control, and then, as you mentioned, a bunt single, a slicing double, and a couple of home runs, and suddenly the D-backs are looking up at the Mets.
Gesellman, who threw 23 pitches in the ball game last night, will start throwing. They already hit for their pitcher. D-backs in the bottom of the 9th will have Avila, Dyson, and Ahmed due up 7-8-9. Salas is ready in the bullpen. This is the changeup, and it's 2-2. Five consecutive have reached with 2 outs against Boxberger. Here comes Torey Lovullo.
I have no sense extending Brad Boxberger any further at this point. Save some pitches. Hopefully he'll be available to pitch again tomorrow night. Fernando Salas will come on here and try to get the last out in the ninth.
We'll take a break from Chase. D-backs down 5-3. ninth inning. 5 consecutive batters reached with 2 outs against Brad Boxberger after he struck out Smith and Plawecki to start the ninth inning. Reyes had the bunt single, Bautista the RBI double, homers by Nimmo and Cabrera, and a walk to Conforto ended Boxberger's day. Now here's Salas. Todd Frazier the hitter, he singled his last time up. D-backs 36-1 this year when leading after 8 innings. Shift is on against Frazier. As soon as we mention how it's been lights out, smooth sailing for Brad Boxberger, he hits a big time bump of the road. Almost hit him with a changeup in. 2 balls and a strike. Fastball sailed on Salas. Full count on Frazier, 3-2 with Bruce on deck. Frazier the 8th man to bat in the Met 9th.
Three-two changeup upcoming.
And Fordo takes off. That one's yanked foul. Salas keeps missing with that changeup up and in unless he's trying to throw it there, which I wouldn't imagine.
I wouldn't think so. 3 previous plate appearances between these two, and Salas has held Todd Frazier 0 for 3.
There goes Conforto again. Ahmed deep in the hole. And it turns into a 4-run New York 9th. D-backs down 5-3. He used it when he came into the ball game last night. Said he really enjoyed it. Said we got to get one of these in New York. He was getting a hard time from some of his teammates, but he said, you guys don't know what you're missing. Gazelman for 1 1/3 last night, 23 pitches. He's on to try and close this out for the Mets. They lead at 5-3 after a 4-run ninth.
Well, that ride from the bullpen into the dugout on the first base side is probably a $30 cab ride in Manhattan, so getting a freebie.
That's a good point. Avila will lead it off. Avila, Dyson, and Ahmed due up 7-8-9. Mets will put the shift on. Alex is struck out, flying out deep to center and hit into a double play. First pitch swinging, tapped to second. Cabrera. And guess what? The door just swung open a little bit. Wow. Mickey Callaway wants to take a look.
Trying to be a little tricky on the exchange from the glove into the bare hand right there. This is going to be interesting.
Now they have clarified the instructions to the umpires in recent years in what is known as the transfer rule. There actually is no transfer rule, just guidelines as to what is and is not a catch. Does that even apply here? That's not a catch technically. Certainly not the ball off the bat.
I'll tell you, Bruce Streckman called it right away. As soon as Dominic Smith took that first baseman's mitt, tried to go between the legs and make the exchange into the bare hand, he called it right away, safe at first. Well, Dominic Smith has been sleepwalking through this game today.
The rule says a legal catch, a valid force out or tag has occurred if the fielder had complete control over the ball in his glove but drops the ball after intentionally opening his glove to make the transfer to his throwing hand. That is the letter of the law. Yeah, this is a dicey one.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I think that's an out at first base. It looked to me, you know, like I said, he's being a little too tricky down there. Just make the play, take the ball out of your glove, throw it around the horn, 1 out in the inning. But Dominic Smith tried to go between the legs there to make the exchange and lost the ball. He ought to be safe just because that was a stupid play.
Yeah. The umpires have been instructed to interpret the rule that the ball is caught provided the fielder had secured it in his glove before attempting the transfer, which appears to be what has happened.
It seemed like he had it in the glove, and then as he was dragging it over to make the exchange between the legs, that's when he lost it.
This is open to all kinds of interpretation in New York.
Right now Dominic Smith's going, oh please, oh please, oh please, oh please.
D-backs trying to get the tying run of the plate here in the 9th inning against a pretty good pitcher in Robert Gazelman.
Oh please, oh please, oh please.
Well, we've told you what the rule is. We've told you how the umpires have been instructed to interpret that rule. Now it's up to them.
Yeah, you know, we've seen the play many times, and, well, now we're going to get the decision. Oh, my.
Safe at first. The call stands. And now the tying run does come to the plate with no outs. We'll see if they want to run for Avila, perhaps. Nothing from the D-back dugout. Dyson's the hitter. 0 for 3. Frazier in deep on the grass at third. So that's scored an E3 if you're following along with us. 1-1 on Dyson. Fastball up, fouled away. 2-2. Nick Ahmed, the on deck hitter, top of the order behind Nick. Keeps throwing that fastball to the same spot. D-backs live post-game show follows our ball game. Gracie and Todd standing by. Two and two. Foul tip. Plawecki hangs on, one away.
Yeah, Gesellman just working across the top of the zone almost that entire at bat. Finally gets Gerard Dyson to tip one right into the mid of Plawecki.
Nick Ahmed now. Nick faced Gesellman in the 7th inning of last night's ball game and hit into a fielder's choice.
Another fastball up. As I said, I'm not sure if that's by design, if he's trying to work across the top of the zone with that heater, but a lot of his fastballs have been up there letter high.
Right center, Conforto and Bruce. Center fielders got it. Well, John Jay's had a lot of big hits. Going to need one more here. He doubled and scored in the 8th inning. And if Jay can get aboard, you'll have Goldie up there as the winning run at the plate.
Well, that's the objective in this at bat right here for John Jay. However, you can get on that base, find a way on for Goldie.
Trying to bunt his way on. That one rolls foul.
Boy, not a bad idea. Todd Frazier was way back at third base. Had that ball stayed fair, that's an easy bunt base hit.
We'll see how Frazier wants to play it now. He was in on Dyson earlier. He's going to stay back on the dirt against Jay.
And now we're going to get the pinch runner at first. Appears to be Devin Marrero now running for Alex Avila at first base. Boy, and if you're the Mets, you have to think twice about pitching inside to John Jay in this situation. He's liable to just stick his leg out in front of the ball or take it off that armored elbow.
He's already been hit by pitches 4 times since he joined the Diamondbacks. He's only played in 9 games. This is line to right. Bruce is there. And the Mets come back with a 4-run ninth to salvage a series split. This one got away and that one hurt.
Yeah, it really did. It's a shame. Another wasted opportunity for Clay Buchholz, who pitched an outstanding ball game. He had to work very hard, but only gave up 1 run pitching into the 6th inning today. Offense just couldn't get much done against this Mets pitching staff again today.
So they split the 4-game set. Gracie standing by with time.
Steve, thank you very much. And Mark, it wasn't that long ago in the 8th inning, I believe you and I sat here and talked about how well played this game was, that it was setting up nicely for the Arizona Diamondbacks if things went according to plan. That's what I said. They clearly did not.
Yeah, 4 runs later, the Mets are shaking hands, and that one was stolen from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
It was of their own doing, too.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the 9th inning, how it all went down for the New York Mets. We'll reconvene in just a moment or two because our coverage continues here on Fox Sports Arizona with Diamondbacks Live as this series now split 4 games. Tough to win a 4-game series, but the Diamondbacks were right there, 1 out away from doing that, but they do fall 5-3. When we return, we'll hear from Torey Lovello inside the media room here at Chase Field. Jody Jackson working in the clubhouse as well. Diamondbacks Live, the post-game show, comes up in just a matter of moments before the Diamondbacks get on the plane and head to the West Coast to begin that bi-coastal road trip. We'll come back with Diamondbacks Live in just a moment.